TIMA Doctors conduct medical home visits to understand the health conditions of the affected residents in Mozambique. South Africa Tzu Chi volunteers hold their Buddha Day ceremony at a Ladysmith school Tzu Chi helped rebuild. Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Siri Su. Thank you for joining us. Tzu Chi volunteers will be holding a large free clinic and Buddha Day ceremony at a high school in Mozambique soon. Before the free clinic, TIMA doctors conducted medical home visits to get a better understanding of the health conditions of the residents.
Baby.
Safeguarding the people's health is a mission that does not stop for any reasons.
When the water touch other side,
它如果抓就会流液体，对，然后碰到别的地方的时候，别的皮肤就被感染。
With the help of local volunteers, TIMA doctors from both Taiwan and Australia are making medical home visits. They found out that when one person falls ill, the entire family is deeply affected.
In this family, the infant is suffering from dehydration, so he has very poor skin elasticity. The 7-year-old child recently contracted malaria and complains of stomach aches. As for the adults of the family, they most have skin infection issues.
In the remote regions, medical resources are lacking. Upon learning that doctors have come especially for a visit, the villagers all came to seek medical attention.
We withdraw.
Can it come up?
Nah. 我们借由这样的家访，我们大概知道他们是
From making house calls, we can find out about the specific medical problems they're facing. We will always invite them to come to our free clinics and seek medical help there.
75-year-old Amelia was trapped in her house when the walls collapsed on her after the cyclone struck. Then her health conditions rapidly deteriorated, and she has also been affected psychologically.
他自己也没有力气可以去把它重建起来，所以他就
She does not have the strength to rebuild her house. Therefore, she kept asking, "Did God see that I am suffering here?" She's suffering both physically and emotionally.
Delivering the peace charm and calming the grandma's anxious mind, while the volunteers translated the meanings behind it, the TIMA doctors really felt for the affected residents.
I do not know how to describe it. They've suffered too much. Just like what Dharma Master Denyan has said, they had already so little to begin with, and now they're having an even harder time. In fact, in reality, there's very little we can do for them.
Making the medical home visits is just the first step TIMA members are taking to help the affected residents. They will also work with the local volunteers and hold multiple large-scale free clinics in Mozambique to treat the affected residents' medical needs. In the aftermath of Cyclone Idai in Mozambique, 1,800 affected households in Buzi were relocated to Guara-Guara. Besides providing other types of disaster relief, Tzu Chi Foundation is planning to build a great love village in Guara-Guara. City volunteers travel on a bumpy road to Buzi, which is 137 kilometers away from Hananta. They'll be holding the first aid distribution in Guara-Guara. We've arrived at Guara-Guara in Buzi. When downtown Buzi was flooded, the government had resettled all the affected residents at Guara-Guara due to its higher geography. With an aerial view, one can see that a white tent on the prairie. This is a special scene that has appeared in the aftermath of the cyclone. Inside every tent, there are stories of sorrow from each affected resident. 63-year-old Joanna Joe is very grateful to Tzu Chi for distributing aid supplies. Before the disaster, she had a house and a piece of land. Now she can only stay temporarily in the tent.
Before Cyclone Idai, I lived in downtown Buzi. The floodwater came very fast, and it went all the way up to my chest. I escaped quickly and was arranged to stay in a tent by the government.
At the distant tent areas, the residents gathered and started to dig wells to fetch water. Ceylon and her husband lost their house in the flood. While escaping, her chest was crushed and injured by construction materials. She still feels the pain to this day.
I really need medication now. I've sought medical attention and got medication at the hospital, but my chest pain has not improved. I hope that the chest injury can be healed soon.
When Cyclone Idai struck, the heavy rain burst the riverbanks. The Buzi River connects Guara-Guara and Benduel. It takes only 10 minutes to make a round trip on the river. However, it takes more than 5 hours if one chooses to drive. Therefore, small boats like this one have become the local residents' main source of transportation. Hoping to help the affected residents return to normal life, the Buzi government has gathered 1,800 affected households in Guara-Guara. They've also sought help from the Tzu Chi Foundation.
The government said that the first step is to help them settle down. Then, they hope there will be a school for the students. Lastly, they hope to have medical resources. We hope that in the future, there can be a great love village here.
Tzu Chi Foundation has promised the government it would help the affected residents in multiple ways. Distributing aid supplies is only Tzu Chi's first step and will continue to help the affected residents rebuild their homes for the long haul. Recently, the Tzu Chi University of Science and Technology has invited the teachers and students from Hongye Primary School to visit the Jingsi abode. During the visit, the students danced to express their gratitude for the Tzu Chi Foundation. The students are performing Chuku tribe's indigenous dance enthusiastically. A total of 70 teachers and students from the Hongye Primary School in Hualien have come to visit the Jingsi abode.
I also hope that we can continue to share your singing and dances with people in other communities throughout Taiwan and in different parts of the world.
Singing the traditional songs with a loud and clear voice, the students have won recognition at this year's Hualien Traditional Song Contest, as well as the National Dance Competition. Tzu Chi volunteers and students from the TCUST also go to the school to encourage them through a reading program, as well as care for the students.
We keep telling the children to harbor gratitude. We will also learn from your willingness to help other people. When they grow up and have the ability, we will also provide love and care for people in need.
The students also shared a beautiful singing with the Tzu Chi staff members in each of the offices, showing their gratitude and vitality. Both Harbin and Tianjin Tzu Chi volunteers held gratitude gatherings. The focus was on demonstrating just how important filial piety is.
May is Gratitude Month. Therefore, Harbin Tzu Chi volunteers headed over to the local hospital for veterans and conducted a very special event for the elders. There were carefully planned performances, a tea ceremony, and handing out flowers to wish all the mothers a happy Mother's Day.
For us senior citizens, we are not only parents today, but we are also grandparents. We are very grateful to Tzu Chi for coming here and conducting such a wonderful event for us. Thank you all so very much.
The volunteers not only accompanied the elders that were in the main hall area, but they also went into each ward to greet those who couldn't come out to participate.
Whenever we have some time, we'll come here to visit you, okay? No need to thank us, because this is what we should do.
Everything that you guys do are also well thought out. Every detail comes from the heart, and how you greet everyone is always with a smile. That kind of care and love and comfort really move us all.
Over in Tianjin, Tzu Chi volunteers also conducted a gratitude gathering for the community members. There were sutra adaptation performances demonstrating the importance of filial piety. I have already been a mother for 12 years and a daughter for 40. However, I feel like I haven't done my duties as a daughter toward my mother. I have immense guilt inside. So from now on, I'm going to be a filial child to my mother.
Nowadays, children are being satisfied with material goods. Parents have a lot of different demands toward their children, but not so much when it comes to manners. I really hope that the children of today can be filial toward their elders.
Tzu Chi volunteers conducted various gratitude events in the community, hoping to strengthen the loving bond between parent and child, in addition fulfilling the wishes of the senior population.
In South Africa, Tzu Chi volunteers have held their Buddha Day ceremony at a school Tzu Chi held built in Ladysmith. The volunteers also distributed rice at the ceremony. In the early morning, the annual Buddha Day ceremony is held in Ladysmith. Tzu Chi volunteers have held a Buddha Day ceremony at the first school Tzu Chi has helped rebuild. They've also invited both the teachers and students to join them.
I helped set up the tables and recycle the flowers used in the ceremony.
Put the flowers.
I don't forget these people. They will last forever in my heart. I'm so deeply appreciating this Tzu Chi Foundation of them.
Senior Tzu Chi volunteer Shi Hongqi has shifted his business focus to Johannesburg several years ago. However, he still returns to Ladysmith regularly to help the 4 local Tzu Chi volunteers in any way he can. The large number of residents lined up outside the school are all ready to participate in the Buddha Day ceremony and also to receive the rice. Despite the differences in ethnicities and religion, everyone's feeling the unconditional love from the volunteers. So the Indonesia chapter has held its Buddha Day ceremony to promote environmental protection and vegetarianism. The ceremony decorations have also been designed to encourage people to protect the environment. Tzu Chi Indonesia chapter holds the Buddha Day ceremony to promote both environmental protection and vegetarianism. The decorations on the tables are fresh flowers that will be recycled and reused.
We've decorated the venue with fresh flowers. Therefore, after the ceremony, we can take the flowers home and decorate a living environment with it.
The motto of the earth is made out of 3,232 PET bottles that are either recycled or provided by factories.
Karena kita mau menunjukkan seberapa parahnya.
I want everyone to know that the planet Earth is sick, and there is enough garbage to be formed into the size of an island. I hope people will be aware of the upcoming water shortage crisis and start to protect the environment and save water.
Plastik dan lebih bisa hemat air.
Ili Wujaja originally planned to adopt a vegetarian diet for 49 days to pray for her mother-in-law. However, she has been embracing vegetarianism for nearly 10 years now.
One time, I was going to eat fish. However, later I thought it smelled disgusting, so I did not want to eat it anymore.
For these people, embracing vegetarianism is not only a slogan, but a good habit in daily life. This year is the 3rd year that the Tzu Chi Hong Kong chapter conducted their tri-celebration ceremony at the Hong Kong Cultural Center Outdoor Plaza. Many Dharma masters and members of the public participated in the event.
One of the biggest tourist attractions in Hong Kong, the Star Ferry Pier, is filled with a dignified ambiance on this day. This is the 3rd year the Hong Kong Tzu Chi volunteers are conducting its tri-celebration ceremony at the Outdoor Plaza of the Hong Kong Cultural Center. The volunteers led more than 1,200 participants in the ceremonial proceedings.
It was a very dignified ceremony. I really feel like both our mind and soul can be purified through the process.
Before coming to the ceremony, I had a bad temper. I felt frustrated. Then afterwards, I felt refreshed and calm. I felt this sense of peace that had washed over me.
Celebrating Buddha's birthday and also thanking all of the mothers, volunteers have set up another area for people to conduct the tea ceremony at. Parents and children gather in pairs, and the heartwarming interactions played out naturally.
I thought that it was such a sweet gesture. I was really moved by it all. Normally, I don't really know how to teach my children about these topics. However, today they show me just how filial they are through their actions. I really feel blessed to have them too.
I served the tea to my mother. I wanted to thank her for raising me. All of these years, I'm so grateful for her unconditional love.
The heartwarming scenes of the tea ceremony deeply touched many passing tourists. One woman from the U.S. was traveling alone, so a Tzu Chi volunteer quickly jumped into place to serve her tea, temporarily acting in place of her son.
My son didn't hesitate for a single second to serve tea to a total stranger. This is the true meaning behind filial piety. It also shows how growing up in the big Tzu Chi family has really shaped his moral character.
May is Gratitude Month, so do not forget to express your gratitude and be filial toward your family members before it is too late.
In Malaysia, Kuala Lumpur and Selangor Tzu Chi volunteers went to a market to hold a mobile Buddha Day ceremony. Meanwhile, in Miri, volunteers also provided a mobile Buddha Day ceremony at a nursing home. Volunteers set up the venue, placing the flowers in the fragrant water. The simple but solemn venue is at a lively street market.
今天希望你可以接受到佛陀的祝福，佛陀教育，他的德香和法香。
Kuala Lumpur and Selangor Tzu Chi volunteers seized the occasion to invite everyone to pay tribute to the Buddha.
我是希望至少 Visa Day 我们可以，
I hope that we can invite more people to get to know Buddhism and learn more about it.
然后也接触多一点佛教。
I always feel more peaceful after the Buddha Day ceremony every year. I hope that everyone in this world can have a peaceful mind so the world can get better.
The Buddha Day ceremony has allowed the public to be surrounded in Buddhist blessings, as well as seeing the beauty of this religion. Here in Miri, Tzu Chi volunteers have moved the ceremony to a nursing home so that seniors who suffer from mobility issues can also join.
We are very grateful to you all. Tzu Chi has organized this activity so that these seniors who can't go out easily can also join the ceremony.
Tzu Chi promotes Buddhism, filial piety, and goodness in a tri-celebration. Volunteers also invited their family members to join.
This time I had a chance to join the Buddha Day ceremony with my grandfather, and I felt very warm. I rarely feel this way. I've also prayed to the Buddha earlier today, and I felt that my worries have lessened.
Everyone is joyful, and the participants have grown from 6 in the last year to 10 this year. Hopefully, we can continue to do this every year.
The mobile Buddha Day ceremony allowed everyone to pay respect to the Buddha and pray for a world free of disasters. In Malaysia, a Tzu Chi care recipient suffers from muscular dystrophy. In the past, she had to take care of her family and can't get enough rest. After learning of her plight, Tzu Chi volunteers arranged for her to move to a nursing home. It became difficult when I turned 48, 49, and 50, and it is worse now. I used to be able to stand, but it was pretty serious when I was 51.
When she first became a care recipient, she could still walk briefly.
There's currently no medication to control this disease, only relieving her pain.
When she became weaker, they brought her to the doctor and she was diagnosed with muscular dystrophy. Doctors say currently there's hardly any cure for her disease, so she has been living under such condition.
Li Ling has been living in the nursing home for 2.5 years and has not returned home for half a year now. She misses her parents and children. She was concerned to learn that her mother scalded her hand. To comfort her worries, Tzu Chi volunteers accompanied her home from the nursing home in this early morning.
We are aware of her condition since a long time ago, but we couldn't afford to bring her to the doctor. Sometimes she couldn't get up after a nap. I also need to take care of my father-in-law who had a stroke. Moreover, my husband had a stroke and my daughter is handicapped. I feel so unfortunate. I'm alone and helpless. I'm also sick myself. How can I take care of them? Luckily, Tzu Chi volunteers help me.
Lei was concerned about her mother's situation, so she requested Tzu Chi's help. We then find her this nursing home. She felt that this is a better arrangement for her. At least she's taken care of. Actually, she misses her family very much, but she feels sorry at the same time. I could understand her feelings.
I feel happy and at ease staying here. My skin gets better.
I feel relieved. I saw her in good condition after coming back from nursing home. I'm so relieved.
Tzu Chi volunteers help me so that I can visit my parents, my family, grandchildren, and my daughter. I feel happy. I'm shedding tears. I find myself shedding tears. Xiamen Tzu Chi volunteers recently visited a care recipient who suffered a stroke and is partially paralyzed. Volunteers came with a rehabilitation nurse who taught her various exercises.
It's a particularly gloomy and raining day in Gulangyu. Therefore, there aren't as many tourists walking about as usual. However, each month, rain or shine, Tzu Chi volunteers will conduct their regular home visits to care recipients' homes. Today, they are heading over to Chen Huina's residence. Chen Huina is a very lively person, even though she has a variety of illnesses. In addition, after suffering from a stroke 2 years ago, she has paralysis on the left side of her body. Her vision is also blurred due to having diabetes. It's already been around 6 months since she last left the house.
The less you move your hand, the poorer the circulation is going to be. So that is why it gets swollen. You must try to move your hand more.
Tagging along on this home visit is Xu Xiong. He is a nurse working in the rehabilitation department. He brought his professional skills and patiently guided the care recipient through each exercise. In less than half an hour, the results were apparent.
Whoa, let me give you a big hug. You're standing up, see? It is possible. As long as you use the right methods and have confidence in yourself, then you can do it.
The physical therapist came and taught her some correct exercise moves, and what a big difference that made. I'm so happy that she is able to stand up again. It has been half a year since the last time she stood up.
The huge progress from one physical therapy session has greatly boosted her confidence. Even though the process is still painful, she's more motivated than ever to keep on practicing. She even made a wish.
The next time I'm going to take a walk outside, going to show you guys and everyone that I can do it.
To be able to see her standing up like that, it made me feel so joyful. To be able to help her, it really gives me a sense of accomplishment.
Chen Huina's heart used to be closed off on the outside world due to her illnesses. However, with the love and care from the Tzu Chi volunteers, she's opening up again, completely filled with immense hope for the future.
加油，会越来越好的，要有信心，好不好？哎。
Recently in Taiwan, the Tzu Chi Kindergarten and the elementary division of the Tzu Chi Senior High School have held a Buddha Day ceremony. In addition, the kindergarteners operated a vegetarian food stall to inspire compassionate givings to help affected residents in Eastern Africa. Thank you for joining us. Goodbye.